Even out of season, rugby managed to command attention last weekend at the 2010 European Touch Championships in England. 15 countries from across the continent were taking part in the biennial tournament, the 8th time it's been staged since 1996. The real heartland of this game lies in the southern hemisphere, particularly in Australia and New Zealand. But it is becoming increasingly popular throughout the world. Over 700 players were taking part here across 4 days of competition. Keeping a close eye on proceedings was the man almost universally known as Mr. Touch, Dennis Coffey. One of the pioneers of the sport, he's spent almost half a century involved with this dynamic offshoot of rugby.
It started in 1965 in South Sydney in Australia when a group of ex-rugby players wanted to continue playing a similar game without the tackles and the crunches. So over 15 years they developed competitions and the Australian Touch Football Association was formed in 1978. Flowing on from that, we actually changed the name of the game from touch football to touch in 1981. The rules were rewritten and since then it's blossomed all over the world.
And at this level, the sport is markedly different from the pre-season throw-around many clubs use to get their players back into shape following the off-season period. Accuracy and speed are key, fitness essential.
So you have 6 touches to advance the ball up the field and try and score a try or a touchdown. Generally you try and ruck the ball up the park, which is an aggressive way of progressing the ball up the park. You then look at some line moves on the line to move the defenders from side to side and try and create overlaps and subsequently score. So generally once you place a touch, you have to retreat as a defensive side 5 metres and then advance once again from that point on. So it's really a game of back and forth, up and down the pitch until someone scores.
There were men's and women's competitions here, but there's one element of the sport that particularly appeals to both sexes.
We have a major advantage in playing mixed competition. That is, boys and girls, men and women playing in the same team against opposition of mixed gender. It's one of the most successful sports, and it is very rare to see an elite sport where you have mixed competition. So, in a nutshell, I think that's one of the strongest advantages of this sport.
And it was Ireland who won the elite mixed competition. In the Women's Open, the final was played out between 6-time former winners England and Wales. It was a tight contest throughout, but the defending champions just edged the title with a 2-1 victory. The final of the Men's Open was an all-Celtic battle between Scotland and Wales. The Scots had swept all before them in the group stages before knocking out France in the semi-finals, and they quickly established control of the match. They eventually ran out 8-3 winners to seal a first-ever European title. Touch is an increasingly popular game, and one in its own right, that can assist in the development of so many of the skills necessary for mainstream rugby.
I wish that I had been a touch player when I was playing union, because I think it would have made me that much better a player. In rugby, you only need a very small gap to score a try using your bulk and your speed and your force. In touch, you have to make a really big hole in the defence. And so if you take those skills into a union context, well, it would make you a very, very good union player.